Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the podcast In Force, the only podcast with me, the Strat Soldier, looking at the markets through the eyes of the Strat. How's it going? How's it going? Heck yeah, how's it going? It's been a while since I've been able to do the actual intro and all that stuff, and with the podcast. But I like the podcast, especially for the people that are driving and you don't have time to look at all the charts and all that stuff. What I am going to do, I am going to post this on YouTube, so you'll be able to see the charts, just like this right here. Bam. You'll be able to see the charts, but it's really, this podcast is really directed toward audio only. So that's really directed toward. So I'm going to be posting a few charts. And but this is not going to be just another wrap up of the weekend shift. All right, that's a totally different program. That's a different show, different stuff. All right, I like these. I want these to be like little subjects that we talk about. All right. So first of all, I'm going to say I have thank you so much for everybody's support and everybody for your time. It's been awesome. And in 2025, it's #live on purpose. All right. So do those things that you want to do, and as long as you're not hurting anybody else, and you're, and you're improving your own quality of life, do it. All right, do it. Go skydiving. Go learn how to swim. Learn how to, and after you learn how to swim, learn how to, wakeboard. Board wake? No, wakeboard. I think it's wakeboard. Anyway, go parasailing. Do something. Learn something new. All right. Live on purpose, all right? And it's going to be interesting, all right? It might be everybody says it's going to be bullish for the markets. We have a brand new president, and I have a new boss. So it's going to be interesting. We don't talk politics on the show, and for good reason. But we do talk about the stocks. It will bleed over into what's happening in the news. It really does. And then these stocks, even though we're laughing at stocks and all that stuff, it does affect people's pocketbook, people's wallet, people's livelihood. So we want to be aware of that. I was going to say cognizant. That's a big word. My father-in-law says, if you can't spell it, you can't say it. If you can't spell it, you can't say it. Don't you say that word. You can't spell that. So anyway, it's been interesting. One other thing I want to talk about with this episode of the Weekend Shift is get off of Robinhood. All right, get off of Robinhood. Robinhood is very good. It was awesome. It decentralized trading for all of us. That's where I started, is Robinhood. But excuse me. Along with that, Mighty Soldiers, shout out to him. He told me, he's like, dude, if you want to trade for real, you need to get off of Robinhood. You need to go with a reputable, platform, a broker that gives you more tools, that gives you accurate data, that gives you a lot more than what Robinhood gives you. Robinhood has gamified trading, and I talk about that. Me and Charts talk about that on the Weekend Shift episode on the Weekend Shift a few months ago, during the summer, and he talks about people being addicted to pushing buttons, and it's true. And people addicted to swiping left and swiping right and swiping up and down. If you want to buy a call on, Tesla, they make sure that they make it attractive. They put little pictures and cartoons and stuff, and then all you have to do is hit the expiration date, the price, and then it does give you a warning, and they do slow it down a little bit, but they also give you options to take those pop-ups off, and they give you the option to just pick it and then swipe up. As soon as you swipe up, you're in the trade. There's confetti, and then you're in the trade. Now, Michael Noss said that they got sued for doing that and making it too gamey, celebrating because they get the dopamine working in your mind, and you're like, yes, I'm making money because I'm trading, and this is fun, and I'm going to keep doing it. People are over trading, and it's bad. People are losing all their money, and that's not good. So, and I was caught up in that too, and it does make trading a lot easier just to pick it and then swipe up on your phone. You're in. All right. And then when you do win, and it's a winning, it says, congratulations, you had a winning trade. Here's how much you made. And there was also confetti. I think they took that feature off. But I just want to emphasize the fact that, yes, that's what they did. And they still do things to gamify it, all right? Other platforms are doing something similar. TradeStation, I use TradeStation. It doesn't necessarily do that gamey stuff at all. But there's always, they want you to use their apps. They want you to trade. You know what I mean? They want you to have all the bells and whistles on. There are some people that are making a lot of good money using Robinhood. But I want you to see Robinhood as training wheels, because it is. It's training wheels. It's you learning how to trade. And there's news. You can listen to earnings after hours. It gives you, all of that, which is awesome. But then, after you get to a certain level and you know what you're doing, let's just say after your first year, your first 6 months, your first year of trading, now it's time to actually move ahead, move forward, grow up, grow up. You can't stay in first, second grade forever. Let's go to third grade. Let's go to fourth grade. All right. There's TradeStation, there's Thinkorswim with Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim. There's a bunch of others. All right. What's the other one? What's the big one? I want to say International Brokers. Anyway, there's a lot of them. All right. I use TradeStation. So again, I highly suggest, after you learn what you're doing, you know what you're doing, you're confident, now it's time to open up an account with a reputable broker and start using a better trading platform. All right. Now, what they will do with, for example, TradeStation, you can print out your statement. You can, which I highly suggest, print out your statement at the end of the month and then plot your trades. And then, because it'll tell you when you got in, when you got out, how much you made, how much you lost. It'll give you all that accurate data. There's also hundreds and hundreds of, I say hundreds, let's be better, tens. There's tens of tens of free webinars, free education on how to trade options, free this, free that, how to trade crypto, what is crypto. It's all on TradeStation, the website. All right, they give you so much. You have more information at your fingertips, to include education, than traders back in the 90s, back in the 80s. All right, you do. All right, back in the 70s, you have a lot more information than ever. All right. I remember Elaine. She was telling me stories about her trading in the 90s, and it was a $20 phone call to call and say, I want to get in on Apple. That's $20, even before you even take the trade. And then once you want to get out, you're not like, oh, okay, now it's like 2 o'clock. Now I see it's going to the downside. I'm gonna get out. No, you had to wait for the newspaper to come out the next day to read the closing prices. All right. And if you had the money to pay for a terminal, like the Bloomberg terminal, or other people that were doing that as well, that's big money. It's a monthly fee too, to use their equipment, to get that data. Now it's at your fingertips in your phone. It's amazing. Great. Right? That's awesome. I want myself, and I want us to do it right. I want us to use this information to create winning positions, add to it, and defend it with tight stops. I heard that Robinhood did get better, more accurate charts. That's good. That's very good. I had to tell one of my cousins, like, hey, I like that you're on Robinhood. I'm glad you're starting to trade. That's very cool. I like that you're starting with stocks and you're doing it small. Remember that the charts, because we were talking about the Strat. Remember those charts on the Strat. Excuse me. Those charts on Robinhood are only 10-minute charts. They're 10-minute charts. They don't say that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's different. There's always updates. But when I was using Robinhood, they just gave you charts, and it just went up or down. You can do bar charts or line charts and things like that, but it really didn't give you a lot of data. That's where I started using TradingView. People moved to TradingView. And then eventually I moved to TrendSpider. So just keep, learn your tools, just like a samurai. You know what I mean? They start you with, you don't even get to use a sword. You get to use a stick. Then from the stick, you get an actual practice sword, which is also wood. And you're using that. And you get a bamboo sword, you can Google this stuff. I'm using this as an analogy to say you move up, and then finally you move to an actual sword. You know what I mean? You're actually doing battle. So move up in the ranks, learn your tools. Okay? Same, if you want to use a carpenter's analogy, you learn with a hammer, some nails, and maybe a square. What the heck's a square? This is a triangle. Why are you calling this a square? If you know anything about carpentry, you know I'm talking about carpentry. But you learn a couple tools. Then you learn what a power tool is. Then you learn what a power saw is. Then you learn what a circular saw is. Then you learn what a circular saw. I said that. A hand saw. And then you got the there's one. Anyway, I lost track. You learn tools, and then you got more tools in your tool belt, literally. All right. So learn those things. Learn, if you're on Robinhood, learn, get better, but then eventually move over to a reputable broker. For example, TradeStation. With TradeStation, I can. You can trade options. You can trade. You can trade futures. You can trade. You can trade options on futures. Oh, I ain't doing that. You can also. You could trade crypto. All right. You could trade crypto, and when you trade crypto on Robinhood, you don't necessarily own that crypto. If you buy Bitcoin in Robinhood, you don't own that Bitcoin. All right, you don't. When you trade a crypto in TradeStation, you actually own that stuff. All right. So I know you might be driving, and you're like, nah, that's not true, or this is different, or they've been updates. I understand. All right. But this is just a conversation. It's just a conversation to help you on your way to work or way home from work. Anyway, this is the Strat Soldier 4 in Force. Remember, there is a Strat Camp webinar on the 22nd, and that's where I go over the entire Strat in one night. There's a one-on-one set for the 23rd. Go check out Combat Load. That's going to give you everything to do combat, everything on the website to do combat in these markets. And if you're listening to me and you don't know anything about trading, check out my ebook, From Zero to Trading. That's going to get you started. And with anything, you get email access to me. You get my undivided attention. All right. You send me something, you will get an answer. And go check out my other course, Unlocking Broadening Formations, the third universal truth. All right. I'll also talk about trading levels of reclaim in that. All right. So we do go from just walk, crawl, run, and then we fly. Anyway, this is the Strat Soldier 4 in Force. I'll talk to you guys later.